Yadai, yai da da dai, I die, yai da dai, I die die, yada die, yada he die die dum, yada die da die dum. Oh, 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 I die, yai die die, I die die die, yada die, yada he die die dum, yai die 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 die, I die die dum, I, I, oh, oh, oh. Ay, 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 da, dum. Yada, da, 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 dum. Yada, yada, da, da, da. Ay, da. Boker Tov, good morning. Uh, Late start this morning. Had a anyway. Had a morning. Had a night, then had a morning. But the morning was all because sometimes, as Andrea used to say, sometimes you just have to say yes. Your kids, your boss, your pets, whatever it is, the annoyance of you just don't want to do what they want you to do. And you always find yourself saying no. But sometimes you just have to say yes. And so the yes this morning was Ellis had a egg to chick um, experience, I'll call it, in his school. They had chicks and they incubated them, whatever. I talked about how we had them on Sunday night to Monday. And today was their day to return back to the Suffolk County farm. Well, I didn't think yours truly was going to be volunteered for such a position. I also didn't think that the specific, detailed delivery and drop off of said chicks was going to be so strict. You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to be late. You have to walk across this entire farm. You can't drive your car there, whatever it was. So this morning, Ellis and I drove to Yaphank and dropped off the chicks. And so he was really proud of his decision to volunteer us, but he was also just proud that the lady said, how was your experience with these chicks? They look great and healthy. And he said that we cared for them from when they were an egg until we're dropping them off to you. And it was a sweet moment to witness the completion of that cycle for him, which was really nice. And so I got to drop him off at school late. He hung out of the car, whatever. It was an extended morning. And so I appreciate you being flexible with timing. So as the book of Back to Torah, or Straight to Torah, or Let's Do Torah, as the book of Shemot is coming to a close, we're told that the work of the Mishkan is complete. And so while I see that in the text, I'm not sure that I believe that. The Mishkan, yes, in its physical presence in that moment of time might have been complete. But I don't really believe that the Mishkan, the tent, the tabernacle, the places where we gather and meet, um, is ever really quite complete. It's not complete for lots of reasons. One of which, if all the people can't fit in together, how could it be complete? Um, I think that we are fashioned in such a way with gifts, with wisdom, with generosity of heart and spirit that is filled with awareness that this is that tabernacle, that place, wherever we are, in whatever place it is. Sometimes at weddings they say, like, home is where the two of you are together, or home is where you feel the most peace. That tent of meeting, that tabernacle, that mishkan, is our place to be ourselves. But the reason it is because when it is completed and we are all assembled together, we talked about this during the week a few times, that is when the cloud of oneness, the divine presence, appears. The dwelling of the divine is placed within the community, placed within that mishkan, that tabernacle, that we're at whatever space we're in, that sacred space that we create, in a place where can be lifted, it can be carried as the journey unfolds. And that's what it was for our ancestors. I was going to say yesterday when we were in Minyan, doing the Amidah, we got to the Giverot, and it's, the second line of it switches depending on the time of year. And I always think to myself, as we get closer to Pesach, we change back to Hatal. And so it's always like, oh, Pesach is coming. My son is learning about Passover. This morning he had to practice his dance moves for the Passover feast, as he called it. I said it's called a Seder, but I think you're doing a few songs at it. He said yes. But everything, the questions start, about slavery and about freedom. And we have lots of time to talk about that. And then we have to talk about, of course, the Omer period of revelation, toward revelation. And so the idea that the tabernacle, the Mishkan, is placed in the community, but is able to be lifted and moved, because why? They were moving throughout the desert, moving towards what would be their land. And so the journey continues to unfold, just like it does for us. The synagogue you went to as a kid might not be the one that you're going to currently. The building looks different, the people look different, but the one thing is that the presence of oneness dwells wherever it is, wherever we are. The holy work has been completed as in the physical manifestation of creation and construction, but the holy work always needs to continue. You can build a house, and it's just a house, but it doesn't become a home until you live in it, until you continuously fix and change and make it your own. The lifting and the carrying is the sacred center. Where is the presence for you? Where are you feeling most connected? For some people, it's not unless they're standing in front of the Aron HaKodesh, the Holy Ark, with Torah in place. Some of us are feeling that divine presence in our everyday walking of life, and others still long to feel that presence. But Shemot, the book of Shemot, ends with a promise of guidance. So that center, wherever we find our true self, with the presence of oneness, or the longing to feel the presence of oneness but being comfortable in our place, is that center. It's the center for us. What is your own center? And obviously it doesn't stay centered, because we have good days and we have bad days, and we spend our days reassembling and realigning, and again in our hands we are feeling like, okay, this might be the place, this might be the space, this is where I'm feeling okay. But in the book of Shemot, the ending is this guidance, this promise, calls us to bring the sacred, calls us to reveal the sacred everywhere we go. That every experience under heaven has a place. Sometimes it feels right and sometimes it doesn't. But it's the reassurance that all challenges are great, because they take us out of our comfort zone. They make us work for it. But the challenge is great also, meaning we're living a life that is challenging. It's hard. It's hard as individuals, it's hard as a collective, it's hard as humanity. But the need is so urgent. So we pray that this Shabbat and going forward, as we close this book of Shemot, that we have moments when possibilities lift us up, moments when, just like the lifting of the Mishkan to move it to the next place as they were traveling, that kindness carries us, just as those of our ancestors carried that Mishkan, carried that presence. And the experiences of beauty and joy and love and relationship reveal the divine presence within and among us. May divine light shining from within, among, and beyond illuminate the pathways for us. Illuminate the pathways of healing, of justice, of peace. We say every time we finish a book of Torah, one of the 5 books, we say the words Chazak, Chazak, Vinit Chazek. Be strong, and be strengthened. Together, we go forward with determination and with strength. We are one human family, one heart of abundant love. We love you, and we look forward to seeing you tonight at 6:30 to welcome Shabbat together. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 Od Avinu Chai. Have a great day, everybody. Shabbat Shalom.